K5 Gaming is proud to present The Queen's Assassin, a game of conquest, diplomacy, torture, and revenge. The Queen's Assassin can be played by 2 to 4 players. Although game length is determined more by the strategies employed by the players involved, a typical game can be played in under an hour. The basic premise of The Queen's Assassin is every man for himself. Although how you achieve that is up to you. Some use treaties and alliances and others prefer to go it alone. In the end, there will only be one victor. I've built this tutorial video so that you can get up to speed right away and be enjoying your first game of the Queen's Assassin rather than reading through the instructions book. First things first, let's identify your cards. In your box, you will have received 90 cards. 62 cards will have the Dark Throne picture on their backs. These are your main playing cards. 24 cards will have blue throne pictures on their backs. These are your character cards. The 4 other cards in this box are instructions cards, but since you are watching this video, you can just put those back in the box. So let's look at your main cards. If you sort through them, you will see that there are 5 types of cards. 4 of these are the cards you will be using for most of the game. The blue cards are your mercenary and jailer cards. The brown cards are your King's Decree and bribes cards. The green cards are your shield and healing cards, and the gray cards are your capture and attack cards. The red-based cards are known as the reach cards. There are 10 in your deck. They add special elements to the game, and you can choose to use any number of them in your game. Gather your main deck together. Shuffle it extensively and deal 5 cards to each player. Now stack the rest of the cards in the center of the playing surface. This is the draw pile. Of course, there will be a discard pile beside the deck, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Now pick up your character deck and sort all the cards into their proper colors. There should be 6 cards for every color. 5 of the 6 have characters on them. The other cards are known as the Kingdom cards. They are very helpful in the game, especially when all your characters have left your castle and you don't remember what color you started with. In setting up the game, have each player pick a kingdom color and choose their characters. You can play with any number of characters, but the more characters you play with, the longer your game could be. It is very important that every person playing starts with the same number of characters, even if they choose different characters. In this pack, every kingdom has a king, queen, knight, priest, and a general. They all have special abilities or bonuses, which are written on the cards. Start by laying out your turn card, then line up your characters beside it. We refer to this area of the playing area as your castle. All your characters will start here. At this time, all players should lay out their characters in their castles. No castle is complete without a dungeon. This is where you torture rival kingdoms' characters. How does that happen? Simple. On your turn, you can play a capture card, the level of which is indicated in the top left corner of the card. The icon for captures is a sword. If you play this card and the character you are trying to capture cannot defend himself, then you can take that character and place it in your dungeon to be tortured to death at a later opportunity. There is another area to the game. It is a common area, kind of a no man's land called the Reach. Since you have successfully captured a red priest and a green general, you now have enemies, and on the subsequent turn your general is captured and placed in a rival king's dungeon. On your next turn, you play the King's Decree card, and the King's Decree is a level 12, as indicated by the parchment icon in the top left corner of this card. Since our rival king cannot defend that decree, you are released from prison, but you don't go back to your castle. Instead, you must wander through the Reach. Now, the Reach is a very dangerous place. On any player's turn, they can choose to attack you with an arrow, which you must defend with a healing card of an equal or higher level. You will find that when you are in the Reach, those green cards are very hard to come by. If you survive in the Reach long enough to get back to your turn, you can simply rescue your character from the Reach by playing a green card of any value, and Reach rescues cannot be prevented or blocked in any way. Congratulations, you are safe in your castle once again. There is one more area of the playing surface that you will become familiar with. Every great castle has a graveyard, but this graveyard is only for your enemies. There are 2 ways to kill a character. The first is to torture them to death by playing a torture card. The whip icon on the blue card indicates the level of torture that is being applied. If they are unable to bribe your jailer, they die. The second way to kill a character is to fill them full of arrows in the Reach. If they cannot defend your attack, they die. Now that you are familiar with the different areas involved in the game, let's take a look at a two-player configuration. As you can see, both players have a castle, a dungeon, and a graveyard, and they share the reach. Both players also are starting the game with 5 cards in their hands. In the center of the reach is the draw pile and a place for the discard pile. It is very important in the game to distinguish the discard pile from the draw pile. All discards in the game should be face down so that players are not aware of which cards are being discarded. And always remember to pick up a card if ever you play a card or discard a card. Now that you have set up your characters and your castles, you are aware of the different areas involved in the game, and you have your cards shuffled and ready at center. You are ready to begin playing. Have each player draw a card. The player with the highest value in the top left corner will begin, and he has the right to choose the direction of play, clockwise or counterclockwise. Discard those cards, and play can begin. But if you would like to know more, I will explain the turn, the attacks and defenses, the placing of bodyguards, and outline 2 special circumstances you will need to know if you would like to be successful in playing the Queen's Assassin. Each player on his turn can either perform 1 action or discard and redraw up to all of their cards. There are actually 7 actions that you can choose to take as a part of your turn. All the actions are clearly labeled with their icons on your kingdom card. I will race through all of them in a moment. To capture a character from a rival kingdom, play a capture card. The level is indicated by the sword icon on the gray card. To release a character from a rival dungeon or transfer a character from a rival dungeon into your own dungeon, play a King's Decree card. The level is indicated by the parchment icon on the brown card. To beat down a bodyguard, play a mercenary card. The level is indicated by the mace icon on the blue card. To rescue your own character from the reach, play a green card. The level doesn't matter. Reach rescues cannot be blocked. To kill a character in the reach, play an attack card. The level is indicated by the arrow icon on the gray card. To torture a character in your own dungeon, play a torture card. The level is indicated by the whip icon on the blue card. To place a bodyguard to protect your characters while they are in the castle, play a bodyguard card. The level is indicated by the shield icon on the green card. To show you how this works, let's go back to our castle. As you can see, you've lost 2 members of your kingdom and you are getting nervous because the attacks keep coming. Better place a bodyguard. So, on your next turn, you play a shield card of 6, which you slide under your king. She is now protected by a bodyguard of level 6. Now, let's look at attacks and defenses. First and foremost, everything you need to know is on the other side of your kingdom card. Flip it over and see for yourself. We are going to do these fast, so hang on. If someone tries to capture your character, play a shield card of an equal or higher level, and you win. Remember, aces always trump numbers. If someone tries to release or transfer a character from your dungeon and you don't want them to, play a mercenary card of an equal or higher level, and you will beat down that messenger and bury that King's Decree. If you want to beat down someone's bodyguard, play a mercenary card of an equal or higher level. Beating down bodyguards cannot be blocked or stopped in any way. If someone tries to kill your character in the reach, play a healing card of an equal or higher level and you win. If someone tries to torture your character in their dungeon, play a bribe card of an equal or higher level and you win. Now you know how to attack and defend and how to place bodyguards. Let's get to the best parts of the game. So what happens when a character dies? Well, the person who killed the character can pick up 1 card from the center pile and add it to his hand, to a maximum of 7 cards. And the person who lost the character must discard a card and play with 1 less card, to a minimum of 3 cards. This should be obvious, but as you kill and are killed in the game, the number of cards in your hand will increase or decrease throughout the game. What happens when a player loses all his characters? Well, that player is effectively out of the game. If he has living characters in his dungeon, those characters are released to the player who killed the final character. And that player then becomes the judge and the jury for those characters. He can then choose to place those characters into his own dungeon or throw them out into the reach. If one of the characters is his own, though, that character must be placed in the reach. The dead player also hands over his cards to the person who killed him, and that player can then choose to keep or discard any cards from the dead player's hand or his own hand as long as he retains the correct number of cards after discarding. Play then continues as before with the next player's turn. And that's all you really need to know to get started. If you would like further info or to read the detailed instructions, go to k5gaming.com, where you will also find some variations to the game, and you can leave comments for the creators of the game. Have a great day.